21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
My name is Chris Cooper. I'm the author of Two Brain Business 2.0, and Help First, and now the author of Founder, Farmer, Tinker, Thief. I opened my first business in 2005. It was a gym, quickly expanded to 2 gyms, and then almost went bankrupt because of it. And that's how I found my first mentor. I started recording everything that he taught me on a blog called don'tbuyads.com. After 4 years of blogging these lessons that I was learning every single day, I was asked to speak at a conference, and I compiled the best 20 blog posts that I had and pasted them together. And because I couldn't really afford to make copies for everyone, I self-published a book, and that has sold 25,000 copies, and it's the best-selling book in the fitness business of all time now. There still aren't any page numbers in it. There's no table of contents, but people love the stories, and they love the mistakes. So now I still own a gym, but I also have founded the largest mentorship program in the world in the fitness business. And now we work with entrepreneurs outside the fitness business too, with hundreds of entrepreneurs worldwide. I've personally done thousands of calls with entrepreneurs. And what I found over the course of that time was that different entrepreneurs need different advice at different phases of their journey. And so the entrepreneurial journey can generally be broken down into 4 distinct phases. And these phases are the founder phase, the farmer phase, the tinker phase, and the thief phase.
Myself. So there are different nations having different approach regarding the fitness, but we are all humans. We have different levels of our functioning system. So it is, from my perspective as a positive psychology coach, it is important to have a positive thinking. From your perspective, it is important to have a healthy body as a prerequisite. But are there any differences between, what's your experience?
So fitness is absolutely critical for entrepreneurs, no matter which phase they're in, because the way that our brain works is that if you maintain a good level of physical fitness, you are able to put concepts together more easily. You secrete this chemical called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor, in your brain when you exercise, especially when you do repetitive work that's primarily aerobic. And so there's a concept in Taoism called thinking body, dancing mind, where if you're keeping yourself busy with a movement that you don't really have to think about, it frees your mind up to make connections and, recall memories faster. And of course, everybody knows about the benefits of relieving stress and improving focus, but only recently have we understood that movement is really critical to help our brains work better. As an entrepreneur, no matter what country you're in, no matter where you live in the world or what you're eating for dinner, it is absolutely essential that you maximize your greatest resource, and that is your ability to think. And so many entrepreneurs get stuck in this trap of, I'm just going to work really, really hard. And what they mean is, I'm going to work a lot. I'm going to work a 17-hour day. I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to grind. But what's more important is that the entrepreneur creates time to think. And some of that best thinking is done while working out. So for me, my first gym was like a personal training gym, and I was a competitive powerlifter back then. Then I found CrossFit. And at that stage in my entrepreneurial journey, CrossFit was perfect because I had a coach and somebody told me exactly what to do. And I didn't have to think while I was there. So it really freed my brain up. And CrossFit was hard enough that it gave me this complete mental reset. Like when you're doing CrossFit, you really can't be thinking about anything else because it's too hard. But now what I find is that to reduce stress and improve focus, cycling is actually better for me. And many other entrepreneurs who are in the tinker phase like me, they find that sports that help them enter the flow state, like tennis, like jogging, are really what optimizes their entrepreneurial mind.
So if I understood you well, I need to work on my body for having a better energy flow for my thinking process. Did I understood you well?
Yeah, you need to exercise, and it doesn't matter really what you do. It's more important that you're doing something. You need to exercise to reduce your stress and to improve your posture so that you have more confidence, to boost the hormones that make you happy and make you more assertive. Everybody knows that. But what people don't understand is that if you can exercise for 30 minutes, the next 5 hours will be at least twice as productive. And in American culture, there's a story about Abraham Lincoln saying, if I had 3 hours to cut down a tree, I would spend the first 2 hours sharpening my axe. And that's really what fitness is about for entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. That sounds interesting. Can we go a little bit deeper into that? Basically, we have a comfort zone and discomfort zone. Most of entrepreneurs, their comfort zone is to drink a beer, to go to party, not to go to exercise. If you can see, my body shape is pretty well. My partner Daria and I, we are exercising, Kundalini, swimming a lot, etc. But every time when I stop, I have an issue going from my comfort zone to my discomfort zone, because to start training is my discomfort zone. I need to invest some time, I need to invest some energy. So do you have any steps for all of us that stopped with exercising, stopped with fitness, and how to go from your old daily routine to a new one with a fitness, having fitness every day?
I think what you're asking is, if someone isn't exercising right now, how can they start exercising without increasing their level of stress? Is that right? Okay. So for many entrepreneurs, they know that they should exercise. And this science is not new. It's commonly understood that you need to relieve stress in more productive ways than drinking or shoplifting or whatever destructive habits you have. It's also known that exercise is going to help you focus. It's going to help you be more assertive. So we know that. But the hard part is overcoming the emotional pain of starting a new exercise program, especially if it means starting it with other people. So we don't want to risk, public shame. In our business, we're in charge. People do what we say. We're important. And many times an entrepreneur feels like if they join a gym, they're at the bottom of that status totem again, right? They're the lowest person on the pole. So what I would suggest is this: find a personal trainer, book a private session so that it's one-on-one. Tell them that you want to start very slow, that you don't want to hurt, and that you're doing this to become a better entrepreneur. A good personal trainer will know what that means. Now, if your wife, your partner, she already does CrossFit, and you think, I'd like to do this thing with her, then by all means, go out and try it. If you think, I'd like to ride my bike, then by all means, go out and try it. But if you find that 3 days into your new exercise routine, you're not excited to do it again, then it's not going to work for you. You have to find something else. And so the key for me is always novelty. I like doing new things. It's starting one-on-one. So for example, if I were going to start jiu-jitsu all over today, I would start by booking maybe 5 one-on-one appointments, learning some basics from a great teacher, and maybe then progressing into a class, get over that social fear. And then the last thing is do something that you'll always have time to do. So for example, if you want to join jiu-jitsu class and it's always at 3:00 and that's your busiest time of the day, then you and I know that other priorities will take precedence over that jiu-jitsu class. So you have to decide when you're going to do it. And I would start by making an appointment with a coach. Everyone knows that, spending time in flow state, spending time in focus is the best investment they can make in their business. That means for many people, the best cash investment that they can make is to hire a fitness coach, whether it's a personal trainer or a specialist like a jiu-jitsu coach or a CrossFit coach.
And there is that self-destruction aspect of our way of I don't know, our civilization, the way we learned to think.
Yeah.
Can we try to somehow connect your book as a guide in the direction of that novelty? I can feel you have a very, very good knowledge from psychology as well, and you have a holistic approach. Everything is connected, the way you think, the way you act, etc.
So fitness is actually a great example of the different type of help that you need over the entrepreneurial lifespan. So when someone's in the founder phase, meaning they've just started their business, they've taken a big risk, they don't have any help, they don't have any money maybe, they are running out the clock, they're working a lot. The best thing that the person in that phase can do is jog or go for a walk in the middle of the day to make themselves more alert and give them energy. But when an entrepreneur enters the next phase, which is the farmer phase, it's important that they get out of their business and that they don't have to think about their workout. So if you like going to the gym, that's great. If you don't, make an appointment with a personal trainer and let someone else tell you exactly what to do. And then in the tinker phase, that's really when you need a coach looking over your shoulder and saying, do this thing, eat this food, eat more, eat less, train harder or train less. And then in the thief phase, you really want a team taking care of you. But fitness is just an example of how your needs change over the 4 phases of entrepreneurship. So you need different mentors in the founder phase and the farmer phase and the tinker phase. And you need different books to read in the founder phase and the farmer phase and the tinker. And the reason that I wrote this book was because entrepreneurship is cool now. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Entrepreneurship is an amazing tool that's now available to more people than ever before. There's more opportunity and less risk than we've ever seen before in the world, thanks to the connection mostly of the internet. And because it's cool, that means there's a lot of resources out there. When I started as an entrepreneur, the internet was around, but nobody was talking about entrepreneurship or how to get your first 5 clients. Now, I can't go on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter without seeing something from an entrepreneur or some kind of business advice. And so I wrote this book because after mentoring thousands of entrepreneurs worldwide, I have seen that different entrepreneurs can benefit or be harmed by the same advice depending on where they are in their journey. And so in the founder phase, we set very simple goals. We want you to get to a break-even point and pay yourself a little bit. Usually we say about $100 a week. We want you to break down all the hats that you're wearing on paper. So write down a playbook for your business and then hire the lowest value replacement role that you can. So if it's cheapest to replace you as the cleaner, then replace yourself as the cleaner and reinvest that time first into a workout, then into sales or marketing or whatever. And then in the farmer phase, after you've hired a staff person, now it's really important that you grow into more of a manager's role. So you're no longer the one that's showing up at 5 a.m. to bake the donuts and run the till and stay until 9 o'clock at night and go to the grocery store. At this point, you're starting to leverage your time better. And so the mentorship that you need is more of a filter. What should you be doing right now? Where should you be focusing your energy, your time, and your money? And then as you grow into the tinker phase, which is where most entrepreneurs want to get to, they want to own a business, not just buy themselves a job. In the tinker phase, they have time and financial freedom. They don't have to go to work in their gym or their bakery anymore if they don't want to. And so the advice that they need in that phase is more around, how do I create cash flow assets? How do I create investments? How do I duplicate the first business that I've already made into a second location or even a franchise? And finally, in the thief phase, you're mostly concerned about building a legacy that will outlast you. So for example, Bill Gates is a great example of someone in the thief phase. And the thief phase is really characterized by Robin Hood, someone who takes resources from an area of high concentration and gives them to people in an area of lower concentration. And I think Bill Gates is a great example of that because he's taken a lot of his wealth and really helped out in sub-Saharan Africa, for example. And he's created a legacy vehicle that will allow him to keep doing that after he's done. But the fitness that you need at each phase is different. The mentorship that you need at each phase is different. The support that you need at each phase is different. The people that you surround yourself with at each phase is different. Even the accounting that you do at each phase is different. And that's what I wanted to break down in this book.
Spread the word by leaving a rating and review on iTunes.
21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
And how do you organize it? So I'm in a specific phase, and do I have a program that you developed so I can communicate with one of your coaches on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or do I need to go through your plan and have my own spreadsheet? Or...
Yeah, so every entrepreneur that we work with at Two Brain Business starts by taking our test. So it's twobrain.com/test. And we find out what phase of entrepreneurship they're in. Now, we're a mentoring agency. So instead of, we do sell some online courses, but everything that we do is mentor-led. So you're assigned a mentor. You have a call with that mentor every week when you're in our incubation phase, and every month after that. We really believe in the one-on-one mentorship approach. The mentor assigns you homework based on what your goals are and what your next steps are. And we have a very strong filtering process. So we have 32 mentors around the world on the Two Brain platform of care. And we have somebody who's a professional matchmaker for mentors. And so after you take the test, they will say, Martin is the perfect mentor for you because he exemplifies these traits. And then you book a call, and then they start assigning you homework. Now, when someone's in the founder phase, the mentor acts mostly as a teacher, because what you need in the founder phase is, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You need a step-by-step guide to doing things. But when you get in the farmer phase, the mentor is more of a filter, because now you've got a little bit of time and a little bit of money and a little bit of idea percolation, and that's dangerous because there's a strong temptation to do all these amazing ideas that I see on Instagram. And so the mentor's job is to keep you focused on what matters right now and then hold you accountable for doing that one thing. Very important. And honestly, most entrepreneurs who open a business, they get to farmer phase very fast. They spend 30 years there, and then they try to sell their business and find out they can't, and then they're done. In the tinker phase, the mentor exists for a few different reasons. The mentor leads a mastermind group because you need to be with people at your own level. The mentor also helps you make big decisions and plans much further in advance. So in our tinker phase mastermind group, we talk about retirement. We talk about buying buildings. We talk about duplicating your business or franchising your business. And we surround you with people at that level. Because it doesn't help to put a brand new startup entrepreneur into a mastermind group with millionaires. They're just going to be overwhelmed. They're going to feel like, I don't belong here. Or maybe they're going to overcompensate to seem like they do. And the millionaires probably won't benefit either. And then in the thief phase, it's most important that you look back at your audience and say, what do they need that I can create with my legacy? Everyone who starts with Two Brain starts with the test. And from there, our mentorship match expert matches them with the best mentor for them in the world. Then when someone's starting with us, the first 10 weeks are a sprint. People have lots of energy. We have their entire attention. And so we call that process the incubator. And so they learn how to build their business's systems. They learn how to improve their business's retention. They learn how to hire and pay employees. They put systems around every part of their business. Then they learn how to sell. Then they learn how to market in person. And then they learn how to do digital Facebook ads. At that point, through the incubator, the relationship with our company is one-on-one. The entrepreneur talks to no one except their mentor. We don't want any outside distractions coming in, and it's very step-by-step. The next phase is what we call growth stage. And at that stage, we've created a big network of support. So 650 entrepreneurs that are in the Two Brain family, grouped together in a Facebook group. You work on an annual plan with your mentor, and then you follow up on that plan every single month. We give you 5 things to do every single month in that stage, every month. And then you get a one-on-one call with your mentor that knows all about you and cares about you and will help you with those things. And then in the Tinker phase, we put you in a small group where you meet up in person 3 times a year. You're in a separate Facebook group. You get separate education. You have separate speakers coming into your live meetups, and you support each other in different ways that way.
21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
Let's say I don't have money, but I'm very interested in the system. Is there anything I can do?
21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
When I hit rock bottom as an entrepreneur, a friend of mine linked me up with a mentor, and I had no idea what an important person this would be. And so this mentor, he came to our town. He saved our steel plant. And as he was leaving, he said, my legacy will be 5 entrepreneurs and I'll train them. And so I got linked up with this gentleman, and my first hour of mentorship cost $500. And I didn't have $500. I didn't have any money. So I wrote him a check that should have bounced and went to the meeting and said, what I learned in the meeting will earn me enough money to pay that money back. And I was wrong. So don't do that. But if you don't have any money, we publish free content on twobrain.com every single day to help you get there. We appreciate that, especially in the founder and farmer phases, that cash flow can be tight. To start our mentorship program is about $5,000 US, and most entrepreneurs don't have that sitting around, but we can finance it for you. We can turn it into monthly payments, whatever. We're happy to help that way because our mission is to get entrepreneurs to succeed. If you have $0, you can still download free guides from our site called for example, the Broke Gym Owner's Guide to Marketing. You get this book for free. You can make $1,000 just by doing exactly step-by-step what it says in the book. And we have the same thing for other entrepreneurs too. So start there. My book is $20 on Amazon on May 7th, Founder, Farmer, Tinker, Thief. And you can learn enough from that book to be able to pay for mentorship. And that's the goal. What attracts people to Two Brain business is first the Two Brain approach. So, our brains have 2 hemispheres. The left hemisphere is usually more closely associated with logic, math, data. The right hemisphere is usually more closely associated with empathy and care and creativity. And we take this approach where we try to bridge both sides of the brain. And we do that first by starting with data. We do things that are proven. We measure the effect of everything that we do. And we prescribe very clearly, here are your next steps, or here's what the data shows. But the way that we deliver that is through empathy and care. We train our mentors to be creative. So, maybe, for example, raising your rates is the correct answer to your problem, but simply changing your numbers on your website is going to cost you all of your clients. So our mentors are creative and caring in that they will teach you how to do that in a way that's specific to your business. That's really important because every entrepreneur that I've ever met worldwide had an extensive degree of care and an extensive degree of knowledge, but very little knowledge about how to explain that care to other people. And so that's what we try to help them do. My 3rd book was called Help First. This is how we teach sales to entrepreneurs, which is, if you're an expert at making donuts or you're an expert at coaching fitness, you're probably not an expert at running a business. But I want you to succeed more than anybody else because you're the one that's going to change the world. And that's why we have Two Brain Business, and that's why we're a mentorship platform.
That's very cool. That's very cool. I like it Thanks. A lot. So left brain, right brain, and the bridge. And it's very, very hard to get that bridge. Okay, sometimes you can immerse into Kundalini and pray to God that everything will be fine. Because it's too powerful for beginners.
I can share an exercise that we do with everyone.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
So no matter what phase of entrepreneurship you're in, it's really, really important that you have an outlet, that you get things out of your brain and clear up that logjam so that you can focus and think clearly with less stress. So there are a few exercises that I've learned over the last 15 years that I've been an entrepreneur that have really helped. And the first one is called morning pages, which is actually an exercise that most writers do. Most writers write 750 words every morning just to get the creative juices flowing. But for me, what that means is I get rid of all of those things in my head, the checklist of things that I'm worried about forgetting, the stresses and the creativity, and I get it out. So the first thing I do every morning before I eat, before I have a coffee, is I sit down and write 750 words. And I use a tool called 750words.com because it gives me a little scoreboard. And I'm attracted to scoreboards, which is why I love cycling and CrossFit. So 750words.com. The next thing that I would do when you're feeling stressed is sincerely thank 10 people. And so if you're going through a stressful period, somebody's criticizing your work, you're short of cash, it doesn't matter. Practicing gratitude is very hard to start, but very hard to stop. And so to start you on the practice of gratitude, what I would like you to do is write 10 sincere thank you notes to different people in your life. And what will happen is first you start to get some thoughts out of your head. You clear that mental logjam. The second thing is that you'll focus on gratitude for about 10 minutes or as long as it takes you to write the notes. And the third thing is that you'll make 10 people happy. And the path to self-actualization in this life and the path to happiness runs directly through service. And service means pleasing other people. So if you can spend 10 minutes a day making other people happy by thanking them, then you'll have practiced gratitude, meditation, you'll have cleared the logjam in your brain, and you will have served humanity. The best thing you can do is to take the entrepreneurship test, tobrain.com/test. And then when you buy my book, Founder, Farmer, Tinker, Thief, you'll immediately know where to pay the most attention. And that way you'll be able to filter out the things that you don't need and focus on the things that you do and speed up your progression 10 times. Thank you, Martin. It's been a pleasure to be on 21st Century Entrepreneurship. Keep helping affiliates and entrepreneurs around the world, and we'll be in touch soon.
If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes.